Hello and welcome back to Redeeming Reels, where we seek to watch movies and see the redemption within the reels. Today is the day of the Oscars. Well, tomorrow, according to when I'm recording this, but when you are watching this, potentially the Oscars are either over or they are happening today. And I would just wanted to go through and make a video about the previous Oscars. I already have a video reacting to the Oscar nominations, as well as giving my predictions for those. I'm going to be making kind of a 1 minute, minute 30, I don't know, video about what my predictions for the Oscars are going to be. But it should be, yeah, that'll be out tomorrow morning as well, when this video is out on Instagram probably, and YouTube Shorts, TikTok, all those things. But what I wanted to do today is look at the last 10 years. What are the Best Picture nominees and what are the winners? And then ask the question, did the Oscars, did the Academy get it right? And so let's go ahead and get on into it. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, everybody. If you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate us 5 stars, leave a review. And if you're on YouTube, comment what Best Picture is the biggest snub here. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to give you my kind of I'm going to read off the nominees, as well as then tell you who I think should have won out of the nominees. And if there was a movie that I thought was better that was not nominated, I will let you know that as well. So let's get into it. Oh, last thing I will say. Monday, Dune Part 2 review will be out. Tuesday, Perfect Days review will be out. And I think that's what we got on the calendar. But for now, let's get into this. So, 2014, 10 years ago, the 87th annual. So, the nominees were Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, American Sniper, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. Looking at this list, we see that Birdman did win Best Picture. And when I look at this, I've seen most of these. I haven't seen The Theory of Everything, but I have seen pretty much, I've seen everything else. I think Birdman's good. I really love American Sniper. I love Grand Budapest Hotel. I love Boyhood. But realistically, if I'm picking a winner here, it should be Whiplash. Whiplash was the best movie to come out this year. It's one of the best movies made. And in terms of snubs, I think there's a couple. I think Interstellar should have been nominated here. Potentially Gone Girl, maybe Nightcrawler. Out of those are some movies that I definitely thought should be in this list at least. But Birdman winning, I don't think it necessarily. It's not a bad movie. But by all means, I definitely thought that Whiplash should have won this this award. So, moving on to 2015. Oh boy, 2015. Nominees are Spotlight, The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Room. So I will be honest, I have not seen Bridge of Spies or Brooklyn, but I have seen everything else. The winner being Spotlight this year. And I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily mind the outcome here. I think that Spotlight is one of the more underrated Best Picture winners. I think it's brilliantly made. I think that it tells a very important story. I really, really enjoy it. I enjoyed Big Short. The Martian I enjoyed. I think The Revenant's fine. I think it's overrated. I don't think Leo should have necessarily won for this performance. Should have won a lot more for other performances. Some snubs that I think should be on this list. I think Sicario from Denis Villeneuve should have been on here. I think Inside Out potentially should have been on here. Ex Machina, I think, could have got a shout here. But those are kind of the ones that I see that I'm like, those were clear misses. And like I said, while I do love Spotlight, I love The Big Short, I definitely think that Mad Max Fury Road should have taken home this award. Just a technical achievement, an absolute marvel in filmmaking and what George Miller does with Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy and just the whole cast and crew is nothing short of spectacular. Incredible film. It should have won, but you know, that's how it goes. Moving on to 2016. I've been playing around with the idea. Oh, this is where they changed to. Oh goodness, to give you some more options. 2016. So then we have, and I'm just gonna say this. I think 2016 is an absolutely incredible year in film. With movies like Patterson that are underrated, Kubo and the Seven Strings, The Accountant I really enjoy. From the comic book genre, we get Deadpool and Civil War and BVS. Disney, we get The Jungle Book, we get the live action remake, we get Moana. Comedies like The Nice Guys and Popstar Never Stop Stopping. Like this is we get Zootopia as well. Like this is a really good year in film in my opinion. But as for our nominees for the 2016 Oscars, we have Moonlight, Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, and Manchester by the Sea. Seen all but Hell or High Water, surprisingly enough. In terms of films that I think should have been on this list, I mean, I'm going to be planning to do these episodes where I break down the whole year in film and do as many as I can, rank my top 10 of the year, talk about the Oscars, who won, you know, who should have won, things like that. But just kind of giving grades for animation, Disney, all these things. So it's kind of in the works. I'm not going to promise anything, but I want to do it. But in terms of some films that I think potentially should have gotten nominated here, I think that Silence, Martin Scorsese's Silence should have been nominated here. I think, obviously, we know that the Academy does not appreciate animation really at all. But I think A Silent Voice and Your Name both could have been nominated here instead of potentially Hacksaw Ridge, Fences, Hidden Figures. You know, nothing against those movies. I think those are good movies, but the winner of this Oscars is the controversial Moonlight, where they announced La La Land, and then after speech, really awkward. If you really want to get secondhand embarrassment, go look up the 2016, or I guess it would be 2016-17 Oscars, and the Moonlight La La Land thing, and watch on YouTube, and it's rough. So Moonlight did end up winning. And don't get me wrong, I think Moonlight is a brilliant film. I think it's absolutely incredible. It's one of the best coming of age movies literally ever. If I were to give this award away based on these nominees, I probably would give it to La La Land, the runner-up, I guess. Or Arrival. I love both these movies. I think I hold La La Land a little bit higher. I don't know. Arrival's just such a technical marvel. I literally watched it last night. It's incredible. So, but yeah, I'll give the shout to La La Land. I think that it should have won. Arrival, nothing short of incredible as well. So, and I love Manchester by the Sea a lot. But like I said, this is a good. I'm not mad with Moonlight winning here. I think Moonlight's a phenomenal film, but I would have given it to La La Land or Arrival. But moving on to 2017. So here we go. We have the nominees: The Shape of Water, Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a ton of these. I haven't seen The Post, Call Me by Your Name, or Three Billboards. I just didn't have enough time to get around to them before I made this episode, but that's okay. Shape of Water 1, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that. I think the Shape of Water's fine. Like, it's not a bad film by any means. And really, if I'm nominating, I can't speak to, obviously, Call Me by Your Name. I hear it's incredible. I can't speak to Three Billboards or The Post, but there are significant films that I think are much better in this year. This should have been nominated. First Reformed should have been nominated. Blade Runner 2049 should have been nominated. Wind River should have been nominated. I think Logan could have got a nomination. I think A Ghost Story is one of the best films of the year. So, I mean, good time from, my goodness, the brothers. I forget. Safdie brothers. But out of these nominees, let's just say that I would probably give it to Lady Bird or Get Out, but I'd lean Lady Bird. I think I like Lady Bird more. Like 2016, I think it's just one of the best coming of age films that we've seen. I think it's incredible. I absolutely adore it. In terms of films that I would have given it to Best Picture, I think I would go First Reformed or Blade Runner 2049 in terms of what I think should have won. Excuse me. If they were nominated, which they were not. But regardless, in this category, The Shape of Water won, but I think that Lady Bird should have. And if I got to pick something off of the nominations, it'd probably be First Reformed or Blade Runner 2049. All right, 2018. A lot of sneaks in here. So we have Green Book, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorites, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice, with the Green Book winning. I definitely don't think that should be the case. If I'm gonna give it to a film just on this list based on what I think is best, I'm gonna give it to A Star Is Born. I think that it's fantastic. I really, really like that film. But that's okay. Green Book won, and they won. In terms of some movies that I think should have been on this, comedies are never going to be on here, like Game Night. I think Game Night's incredible. First Man, I think, should have been on here. I think A Quiet Place could have been on here, but definitely the biggest sneak of them all, because the Academy hates animation. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse should have been on here, and it should have won. It is the best film released in 2018. Hands down. I mean, I think that, Infinity War is better than Black Panther. What are we doing? So, not saying Black Panther is like a bad film. I just wouldn't personally nominate it myself. I get the cultural relevance and the importance there. And I'll shout out Mid-90s too. I think it's a brilliant movie. Moving on, 2019, potentially the year where they just got it pretty much all correct. We'll talk about it though. So, 2019, we had Parasite, Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have not seen The Irishman. And honestly, there's a bunch of the winner this year was Parasite, and I will be the first to say that rightfully so. I think Parasite absolutely deserved this award. I believe 1917 deserved to be nominated. Little Women deserved to be nominated. Marriage Story deserved to be nominated. And I'm going to for sure say probably Joker deserved to be nominated. Maybe not. I think Knives Out should have been here. Obviously, I don't know how it works with straight to streaming. There's a couple underrated films that I absolutely adore called Driveways and Our Friend. I don't think that they should have been nominated. They don't have the same poll, but I think that they're better films than some of these here. The Lighthouse, I think, could have been up here. The Farewell, I think, should have been nominated. Potentially. Last Black Man in San Francisco. So 2019 is just hands down, Uncut Gems, just an incredible year in film and cinema. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I have it rated a 4-star, and I think it's an incredible movie, but it's just not as good as other things above it. So, like I said, I really, really enjoy this list. I think Parasite is the rightful winner here out of all these list of nominees. But if I were to give it to someone else, I wouldn't. 2019 Parasite, I think, is the best movie this year. Second, I would have to go with Driveways, which is a really underrated movie. Maybe I'll make a video on it. I think it's incredible. Moving on to 2020. All right. So, 2020. Not a great year in film. Not because of, there was some circumstances. Nomadland, The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. All right. Nomadland won. Not gonna lie, it shouldn't have. I don't think it should have been nominated necessarily. Mank, what are we doing? Like, I haven't seen Promising Young Woman. Judas and the Black Messiah is good. It's not great. Realistically, we're missing some things. Another Round. I don't know if that was eligible for the 2020 or 2021 Oscars, but hypothetically, Another Round, I think, deserved to be here. 9 Days deserved to be here, and maybe Tenet. But I will say one thing. If I were to give the edge to one movie in terms of what I think deserved to win out of these nominees from the Academy, I would give it to Sound of Metal. I think it's incredible. I actually just got the Criterion for my birthday. Shout out to my brother. But definitely Sound of Metal. And then off the list, I would go Another Round. And then I also love Minari. I love The Father. I love 9 Days, which is not on the list. And I think Soul should have been nominated too. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's interesting they had 9 nominees. Interesting. Yeah, so I'd go Sound of Metal for this. I really want to see Trial of Chicago 7. I know it's supposed to be good. 2021. Cinema's back, baby. Again, not a very good year for me personally. There's a couple things that I really enjoy, but they weren't nominated. So this list is of the 2021 Oscars: Coda, Belfast, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I don't think Coda should have won here. I don't think Coda's a bad film by any means, but I wouldn't have given it to Coda. If I were to give it to something here, it would be the one and only Dune Part 1. I really want to watch Drive My Car, but Dune is incredible, and Dune should have won. It's the best of the year for me. If we're going to go off this list, I think it's a pretty solid year in terms of things that I have rated higher off. Obviously, we have Dune. I really loved The Green Knight. I think that was an especially incredible movie. The animated film, The Summit of the Gods, and Joaquin Phoenix's best performance, in my opinion, in Come On, Come On. I really, really love, as well as, honestly, this would have never worked because it never went to theaters. But Zack Snyder's Justice League is better than Don't Look Up. So, by that logic, should have had that there. Not really. I would never have actually think that should be nominated. But regardless, I think it's a fine list of nominees. I've seen most of them, but Dune is the clear winner. 2022. I watched some of the Oscars here last year. This year, I'm actually watching them for the first time all the way through. I'm very excited. 2022 list of nominees: Everything Everywhere All at Once, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. If I were to take the best movie on this list and vote for it and say this movie should be the Best Picture winner of 2022, it would be The Banshees of Inisherin, without a doubt. And then probably Tar, then All Quiet, then Top Gun Maverick, then Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the one that did take home the victory, and it was a big deal back during the 2022 Oscars. Completely fine. I understand it. It's a brilliant movie. I really enjoy it still, but I don't think it should have won over Banshees, and I do not think it's close to the best movie of the year. There are plenty of snubs, in my opinion. The Batman should have been nominated and could have won. I think that Babylon should have been nominated, potentially. I think that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish could have been nominated over something like Triangle of Sadness. And Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar: The Way of Water is fine. It's good, but it's more spectacle and less everything else. I think Nope should have been here as well. And then the best movie of last year, of 20... Well, not last year. It's 2024 now. The best movie of 2022, without a doubt, is Charlotte Wells' debut, After Sun. It's the best movie of 2022. Should have won Best Picture. Should have been nominated for Best Picture. Paul Mescal should have won Best Actor. All these things. But it's not the way the cookie crumbles. So the Daniels win for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that's okay. It's a brilliant movie. But I would pick Banshees. And then off the list, I would go the Batman. I would go After Sun, then the Batman. So, and then we come to 2023. 2023, we have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. If I were to rank these, I would go, I don't know, Oppenheimer, The Zone of Interest, The Holdovers. Oh, geez. I'm just going to look. Bad podcasting. Sorry. All right. Oppenheimer at 1. Zone of Interest at 2. The Holdovers at 3. Past Lives at 4. Anatomy of a Fall at 5. Killers of the Flower Moon at 6. American Fiction at 7. Barbie at 8. Maestro at 9. And Poor Things at 10. So, who do I think is going to win? I think it is going to be Oppenheimer. Should pull away with the Oppen sweep. So, we will see. Thank you for listening to me give my opinions on all things the Oscars in the last 10 years. Let me know if you want to hear more videos like this. But for now, I'm going to be signing off. Go watch one of the Best Picture winners of the last 10 years and let me know what was your favorite part.